on this door. By light, he got the lights off. They had it fastened just with the lights turned on, like a barn door or something other. Went down there, he got on latch. They had that big log laying up against that door, and it knocked him about halfway back through the house. He come on hard, killing him. And he never did know who shot that log up against that door there on the slam back then. And it come on hard, killing him. And then one time, my brother and my cousin too, Uncle Sam back had a wagon. He had it loaded with staves, loaded up one night. He was going to get early start next morning. So they slipped up there where he had a wagon loaded with staves, jacked the rear end of it up, took off a wheel. One of them climbed the big beech tree, had parked at another big beech tree, and they had a big rope. They let that rope down, they tied that wagon wheel on it, hiked that wagon wheel way up that beech tree. Well, I went down next morning to hook onto the wagon. He didn't pay no attention to the wheel being off. Put his team in there and hollered, "Get up!" The wagon just dropped off the prop, down it went. The wagon wheel was way up that beech tree. And the wagon sat there, he thought it broke down that time.
Tell us what a stave is, Morgan.
A stave?
Yeah, tell us what they're used for.
Make barrels out of. A split stave. They are made, well, they're about that wide, I guess, and about an inch and a half thick after the buck run through a buck and buck 'em. And they took them and made barrels out of them to store liquor and stuff in. Well, now a sawed stave, it was sawed at the sawmill. It was cut with a drum saw. Drum saw, I guess about that big around. It was round, just like a barrel. And, well, it sat on the spindle there then, and a little carriage run out alongside of it there. And instead of it cutting the stave like lumber, it cut a round stave, cupping stave. Never see the sawed stave? They sawed from a bandsaw, a drum saw at a stave mill. They've cut round that stave was. And they took them and made the liquor barrels, put liquor in. And they had to watch how they cut them. They sawed them there. If they sawed them with straight with grain, they wouldn't have them. At the factory wouldn't have them. You had to cut that stave with the grain of the wood, so that liquor couldn't ooze out through the cracks of that stave.
Sawmilling used to be a big thing in this country.
Sure did, yeah.
What was the timber like?
Huh?
What was the timber like when you were a child? What did the mountains look like?
Well, it was all growed up. There wasn't no big field much cleared up like it is now. And timber, boy, you could go through the hills, anywhere you wanted to go to. It was clean, another timber, big timber growed up. And now you can't get through the hill hardly. There's sawbriars, green briars and everything, brush and stuff. You can't hardly get through the hills anymore. Lord, I would hope saw in here, boys, and cut timber. And his sight what big timber they was in here to cut. I hope fella back in this holler here rolled out the stave blocks one time where they'd cut a big white oak. And as long as in level, them stave blocks would roll. They would cut 39 inches long. They would roll pretty well. But if they got iron bit siding, they'd head up on their end. It took all three of us to head that block back up rolling shape. It was so big. It was somewhere from 40 inches through. Big white oak. Yeah.
Did you work at the
I've got to change batteries.
Okay.
Huh? And both of them scared to death. And, well, I don't know, something other, just pulled the cover off of them. And they grabbed the cover, put it back up on them. Well, when they put it back up on them, why, an old big cat, he hung the toenails in the cover. My brother got a hold of that cat's tail. He threw it back across my brother-in-law's chest, and put it across that cat, and his blood flew. Said out of his chest where that cat scratched him. And he came out of that bed a hollering, said, "Lord, Lord," said, "Hank's got me," he said. Yeah, he said, "The Hank has got me." And I've heard a lot, Hank talk about now, one of my cousins was. And they go up and down the road there where I was raised at, and cross a point they call the Rocky Point there. And they said every time he go across there, you see somebody following him dressed in white. Didn't have on no head or nothing. And he said he tried to find out everywhere in the world to find out what that was, and he never could find it out. And it was Hank for them to see back then.
Have you ever seen one yourself?
Well, I seen a caution one time. It was a warning to me. It was a warning what it was. First one look over I put up. And I had that carbide lamp on my head. It burned a great big blaze out there. It wasn't fizzing nothing, trying to go out nothing. Okay, I looked off down the holler. There was a light that's blue as an indigo, as have you looked at. And I lit my light back up and went out again. Lit it back up and went out again. Well, I just never tried to light it back up no more. I stood there and watched that light that went, this bluish, went plumb out of sight. It just faded away it did. I lit my light back up, burnt as good as it ever did. That was a warning to me to not make any liquor. I didn't take heed to it. Yes, sir, they was hanging sights to be seen in. All the wind come blowing Now that band mill over here now. Was you ever seen it saw any?
It was gone before I got big enough
I
to
guess
remember.
They dumped them logs in a big pond there. Then the fellas had something like a raft, walked out with big spears, pole in a pole, pull them logs up the conveyor chain, took them logs upstairs. And they had to got up there. Them logs were washed good as they went up through there, water spraying in on the other side of them. And they went upstairs then, and they just dumped them off on the skid there. And then you know, can hook and nothing, everything's done with machinery. Went down to the sawyer, and they was dumped on the carriage there with a bandsaw. It was all cut with bandsaw. It cut through. And you go through there, and the fella out there, he aged all that lumber go out there, he go off out where he's aging. He hit all them live roller beds right on through out there, hit them chains right off, and out there where the man picked it off the end of the old chain and stacked it on the car and hauled it out and stacked it in stacks then.
What did you do around the sawmill?
What little sawmill I done, I first started out rolling sawdust. Then the next thing I worked on a carriage, setting head blocks, sawing railroad ties. Then from that I went to off-bearing from the sawmill. And the fellow at the off-bearing, he wasn't stout enough to pack them big slabs out. And the plank was cut off from that, he's weak. He went to working on the carriage, I went to off-bearing then. And then from that then, I went sawing. The fellow learned me how to sawing. I done a lot of sawing. The circle mill.
Is it hard work?
Hard work, just as hard as it can be, yes sir. We had a can hook to turn a log with on the carriage. And,
What was the name of that lumber company?
Ritter Lumber Company over there where on Leatherwood, Ritter Lumber Company was the name of that company. But where I worked at, this little sawmills around here and about, fella owned them their own selves here and sawed the lumber. Oh, me and another fella, we'd roll up logs on that carriage there. We'd make 5, 6, sometimes 7 railroad ties, get that many out of one log. And after we cut the slab off one side of it, we turned it. Now, 2 of us turned that log, just about all we could do to turn it. It was that big. Get that many ties out of one, that's a big log.
Did you see the railroad come in here?
No,
It was already here when you...
No, it didn't come in here till... It started coming in here the year that I was born. Started coming in here in 1911, best I remembered how it come in here in 1911. And 1915 was the first block of coal that went out of here. They said a $1 bill wouldn't bill the length of itself up and down through here, and that cheap labor then. Said a $1 bill wouldn't bill the length of itself, building this railroad in here.
Morgan, and all the time that you made liquor, you were talking about, you got the caution signs to quit. Did you ever have any brushes with the revenuers?
Got it one time though. If I been wanting us to help make liquor, we wouldn't make it, me and my brother. Wouldn't let them in on us. And they got mad at us and they reported us, had to help run. We know it was reported too, in a big, long, deep holler. Had ledges, drop off all the way down to it. We down on the first bank of the mountain, and we run the liquor off. The revenue went around the bank above us. We had good dry wood, wasn't no smoke, and all the scent was going down the holler. If it'd been going up holler, they'd caught us. And, well, they had no idea of us being down in that deep holler making liquor down in there. It's steep and everything. Well, they couldn't see us where they went around that part. And that's all it saved us. Yeah.
Did they have dogs?
Huh?
Did they have dogs?
Tell us about the donkey trains.
Thank you.
The donkeys.
Well, I ain't used to them, but I've seen them. They haul logs out of Leatherwood and donkey. Had big log cars, and they'd load up about 14, 15 of them big log cars. And them little old donkeys, engines still sitting down there like there's only the engines on the railroad. They sat up here on the side, sat right up and down that way. Worked up and down like that, yeah. And small like a little engine. And,
Tell us what a danky is. Tell them
Well,
what it is.
yeah, a little danky, it run by steam. And, well, I don't know how to go at it. Anyway, you fired it just like you did the big engines that run up and down the road here. The big J1 engines. You fired it and it had a tank to it just like they had. All but the engines, instead of them sitting down here out like that, they sat up and down like this, and they were run by cogs down on the bottom. And these other big engines, had big flywheels pulled them. And these others had little cogs on the bottom that run them with. But they were fired just like the big engines on the railroad. Yeah, that was called a little dinky, a little small like engine. And of course, they made a little difference from the big engines up and down the railroad here.
Did you see the union come in here?
Yeah, I was working when the union come in here.
What was that like?
Huh?
What was that like?
Well, when they come in here now, you had to take an awful oath. I got where I wouldn't join up with it anymore, not unless I just had to. You would be surprised the oath that you had to take and join up with the union. And you weren't allowed, just like me and you working here, you had one certain thing to do there, and I had one certain thing to do here. You weren't allowed to come over and help me, I weren't allowed to go over and help you on kind of union. Before you got help, the company had to hire an extra man if he didn't do everything to work. He didn't work 1.5 hour a day. They had to hire an extra man, that union, that oath that you took. And you couldn't discriminate against your working feller. If you did, they'd fire you, blackball you and get you out of the union. And you couldn't get a job nowhere else then. You had one certain job, and you went to work, you done that one certain thing, and no more. Union wouldn't let you do nothing else. If they did, they'd blackball you. Company, before you go around and me go around and help you, they had to hire an extra man to help you do your work. If they didn't have to work 1.5 hour a day, they had to hire an extra man. That's what the union was.
What was your job?
Well, when they come in here, I was drilling and shooting coal. Yeah, and for 4 coal loaders, I was shooting coal right by my lone self. Shooting for 4 coal loaders, loaded coal with. And I'd shoot about, well, I say I made an average about 50 ton of coal a day shooting coal, about what I shot. And I had a breast auger, turn it with crank, drill a hole with the breast auger and done that shooting with. About 3 and 4 places a day, man, you had to work hard till you got 3 and 4 places a day. You had to have an awful good bit to shoot that many a day at loading coal. And I shot the coal, I wasn't allowed to load no coal. The coal loader, they weren't allowed to come over there and help me drill a hole. And timber, as a timber man, I couldn't even set a timber out of the fellow over there. They'd blackball me out of the union if I did. That's what the union was.
Was that at Leatherwood or?
Well, yeah, all around all these little coal mines there where you went, it had a union in them. The union was one of the finest things. I tried to tell everybody, but everybody didn't get me right. The union was one of the finest things ever was, boys that come in here. If the people would have took it and run it like it ought to have been run. But it was a strike, every day, strike. Every time it strike for higher wages, the groceries, cost of living would go up above the wages they was getting. Every time they strike. And if they would have stopped wages on that when everybody was getting $14 a shift, that was one of the best times that people ever worked in their lives. When everybody was getting $14 a shift. And I talked to a lot of them. I said, I don't see why they don't set wages at that and just hold it there. They said, no, we'll strike. Said, to get more money out. Okay, you strike. Then your living cost went up above compared to the wages you was getting. And so they went in a hole every time. It'd be off a month. Well, there you lost all your work. Your wages went up. Your cost of living went up above your wages you were getting. And the people lost. And you couldn't tell them nothing.
What made you think it was a fine thing?
Well, what I got it, I'll tell you exactly. I worked and didn't have no union. You went in the mines, you worked your 10 hours. You had to clean your place up or pack your tools and get out of there. And you had to do everything the boss man told you to. If you didn't, he would fire you. And they would make you work like brutes. They didn't care where they'd send you under a bad top in a big water hole. You had to go or quit one to other. And the union wouldn't let them do that. And you take outside, they'd brute you. Work $10, 10 hours a day. That's where I worked for $2 a day for 10 hours. And it was work and get off. I what I wanted to do. And they'd come, you had to go on a big run at it. It was what I call pure slavery work. Well, when the union come in, they took the people out from under that slavery. You worked, but you didn't have slaving work, and they couldn't shove you in dangerous places where you didn't want to go. There had been a man and a man in a mine. The boss man shoved them under a bad top, and they got killed, top falling on them, get killed. And as they got the union in, well, they had to have a timber man, they had to have a safety man go in and check your top before you went in under it. That saved a man and a man's life. Oh boy, I worked before we got the union in here. That man saying there's a whip on you, making you work before they got the union, where you wanted to work and where you didn't. Now they got the union, they couldn't slave you anymore.
You know any union songs?
No, I don't know
The
none.
tape again.
Oh,